This is part 2, Saturday the 7th of September, where I'm going to show how we look for EPS stocks or EPS stocks that have excellent charts, high EPS. So from home, we go to viewers. Viewers, we have the stock viewer, and we brought up here our stocks all sorted by VST descending. Here I've already highlighted some here, and if we right click on the highlighted portion, we go to view stock graph, and I've chosen a very plain stock graph layout. So here what we're looking for is bottom left to top right, but this is just 1 year, so we need to go to 5 years because we want stocks that have really performed well over that 5-year period. Well, it's been alright the last year or two, but it's not consistent. It's not really a strong stock that's worth investing in as far as this particular method goes. SAIA has moved well on price, bottom left, top right. EPS has moved well, so you put that on a piece of paper ready to put into your watch list that you're just going to make. This has only just turned to a positive EPS. I really wouldn't want to be involved with that one. No, that's not really anything at all. Although it's got good price action and the build-up hasn't been around long enough to be worth investing in. That one's all over the place. INS, now that's nice. It's moving up slowly, but it is bottom left to top right. It's a fairly smooth build-up and it's starting to move. Only 2 years. You might say you wouldn't put that one on your list. It depends how critical, how picky you want to be. That's nice, bottom left to top right, CCMP, you put that on your piece of paper ready for your watch list. Arch Capital, yes, that's doing well and it's fairly smooth price action, it's not too volatile. Kirkland Lake's not the full 5 years, but since 2017 it has moved nice and smoothly. We know at this time that the gold is doing well, so you probably would put that one on as a strong stock. Horton, that's very nice, bottom left to top right. And again, CLAC, bottom left to top right over a 5-year period, it has done well. So those are stocks that you would put on your list. And any time you ever did any sort of searches, any sort of stocks you found that looked like they had a very good EPS for the last year, open up to 5 years, and if they're good, put them in your stock list and put them on your watch list. So here, what I've done is I've actually made up a watch list. So I've got my own watch list down here, my watch lists, and the ones I've made up. EPS Kings from the 20th of June, great looking stocks. So these are stocks that I started looking on the 20th of June to find stocks that had the sort of patterns that we were looking for. So what we've got here, we've got a total of 88, and I keep adding to it every time I find something nice. Now the thing about these is they've all got, if we look at them, these are stocks, again sorted by VST up here, but if we look at all the fundamentals here, you look at your RV, they're all good RVs, most of them are good RSs, there's just one there that's not, RTs are all good, CIs, most of the CIs are very good, and the thing is, these, if we actually sat and charted these, they'd be very, very good stocks. You see some of these are ones that we've already found. So the thing to do next then is let's just do some quick tests and see how these stocks, which I've selected for having really good 5-year EPS charts, have performed. Now, in the strategy of the week we just had, they were talking about RT times CI as a sort. So if we look at, we'll change that sort to RT times CI. Sorry, I'll cancel that because I've got RT times CI already here listed. So we sort our list by this, and what we'll do is we do a quick test of the top 10. So top 10, no, I'm sorry, what we'll do, we'll take the date back. Sorry, first of all, excuse me, because as I said, I'm not used to this. We'll take it back, just for instance, to the last confirmed down that we've had. So back there, now, we'll just wait for this to open up. It's slow, I'm afraid, it's got a lot of work to do. And we've got RT times CI. We're going to quick test the top 10, and we've got minus 1.6, and we've got VVC, which is done 1%. So I'm not going to labour the point too far, but we'll take it back now. We'll take it back, for instance, to 3rd of June, the start of June, and see how it's performed. So 3rd of June to there. Come on, this should be back on the 3rd of June. Yes, there we are, 3rd of June. And that's okay. It's taken a long time. I've got a slow connection, I'm sorry. So there we are, 3rd of June, these stocks. Now we'll quick test the top 10 again. And you see we've got 14% for the top 10 as opposed to 5% on the VVC. So we'll close that one down, and we'll take this back another couple of months. Take it back to the 1st of March. This is just random, just taking it back, just so as we can look at it over a period of time. 1st of March. These are the high EPS 5-year stocks that we had, looking at them back on the 1st of March. So now, again, we quick test the top 10 for the 1st of March. And we've got 36% as opposed to 2% on the VVC. We've got some really nice returns. You won't get many with 179, but it's done very well. Now we'll take it back to the confirmed up just after Christmas, and that takes us right back to January the 2nd. We'll go with January the 2nd, well, beginning of the year I've done it. Okay there. And we'll just wait for it to come through. And we'll quick test from the 2nd of the 1st. All these high EPS stocks. And there you've got 104% against 15% for VVC. Again, 400%, you'd be very lucky to pick up something like that. You'd be lucky to pick up something like that. But these are all charts that have been selected because their 5-year EPS lines were beautiful. Okay, that's just a one-off with RS times CI. So using perhaps a different sort then, instead of RS times CI, let's do let's just try it with RS. So we'll select by RS. There we are, RS. If we go back to, again, we stay on the 1st, quick test the top 10 on RS. We've got 39% as opposed to 15%. And if you do the same thing yourselves and go back, just taking a couple of months back at a time as chunks, and do the same sort of thing, you'll see how this is starting to pan out. So let's have another look then. We've got RS times CI. Let's have a look at RS times CI, see how that one's performed. So looking at that, this is the way they were on the 2nd of January. And that's 77% as opposed to 15%. Okay, so I can hear the cogs ticking now. You're saying to me, oh well, but of course they're going to perform well. We've had a great 6 months. But having said that, if we think about it, they were all selected because their EPS charts were beautiful EPS charts for 5 years. So if we go back to today's date, we just have to wait for this to line up and go back again, because I'll say it's very slow, I'm afraid. Here we are, the 6th of the 9th. So now it's all selected by the 6th of the 9th. These are today's dates. If we click there, we click down there, and I'm going to right click and chart these charts. Remember, we're looking for a 5-year chart that's doing very well. But as we said, yes, you expect the last 6 months to be good. So looking at a 5-year chart, take it back when I was looking at it. If you say back when these were strong in the beginning of the year, 2019, when I was looking at them, look at that EPS chart here at the start of 2019. You still would have selected that stock to put on your list if you'd looked at that in January. Next one down, again, you would have had that if it was in January. You would have selected that one if you had it in January. You would have selected that. It's a bit iffy midway, but it was rising strongly. Price was starting to move again in the beginning of January. You'd love that in the beginning of January. It's a lovely chart. Again, you would have selected that as a good chart in January. It would have been bottom left to top right. I did put Chipotle in because I knew they had had a very good move previously, and it was just they had that problem with the food poisoning, whatever it was. But the chart was moving now for the last couple of years well, and price action was moving well. So that one I cheated on. That one, a beautiful chart, you would have chosen that. That's a decent chart, bottom left, top right. Bit of a cough in 2016, but the price action is nice, and it didn't go down very much in 2016. Again, this has got a good, nice rise, bottom left to top right. Going back to this other one, SBAC, as it dropped down here, you'll see that it didn't really move very much on the price action. And if we put the candles back on so we can look at the confirmed calls that are there, and we'll close this down, what you need to do as well is look for stocks that after you get a confirmed down like this haven't moved down very much. They're stronger stocks that are going to be moving. So that's your charts, that's the way that they've worked. So that's really the way that I think is found some super stocks, and the move seems to be there. I've made up loads and loads of searches myself in Unisearch, but having said that, this seems to be outperforming any stock of the searches that I've made, and it runs into the hundreds. There are very many of them here. So there we are. And then just go through, make your own lists up, and then what you can do, if once you have got your list, we'll go back. Let me think what I'm going to do now, because I've moved away. Viewers. Here we are. So I'll right click these again and view the stock graphs. So here we are, we've got 1 year, So what I'll do is I'll take off the candles because that makes it a bit messy. Take off the candles, take off the recommendations at the same time, open it up, and because we were looking at what was going to be happening in the last almost 9 months, so we look at here end of day, we've got end of week and weekly. The difference between end of week, if you select end of week, that just charts, if you're looking at very short-term charts, until the end of last week. So if you're looking on Thursday or Friday to see how a chart has performed, you're looking at the end of last week. If it's weekly, it's day on day and you're looking right up to date. So if you look at 9 months on a weekly chart, then it changes completely, where you have a 3-period moving average over the top of an 8-period moving average. And this is the top one of those 10 that we selected. Had you gone into this in January and you just followed the 3 and 8 method, where if you have a weekly chart of 3 over the 8, you stay in the stock, and you only come out if it drops below. So you would have stayed in that. There, you've got to see here, you may have come out there where it was on a hold and perhaps gone back in there, or you might have come out there and selected another stock which would have been a stronger stock to have stayed into, but that has performed well. That one, had you gone in again in January, you'd still be in that one, because these are all long-term stocks that you're holding, and these are stocks that you don't want to be in and out of. You want to just watch and just be patient. Again, you see that's 3 above the 8, it stayed there, you'd still be in that one. You would still be in that one from January. That one you would have come out at when the 3 has dropped below the 8 here, and you can see air in between. That's the time to get out on a weekly chart. But you see, you've still got, yes, all these beautiful EPS lines are still there. Chipotle Mexican Grill, again, we saw that it dropped a bit there. That was, you might have got out with that, or you might have said, no, we're still well above the 20. I'll stay in because it's got such a good, strong EPS. It's a good, strong stock. I like it. I'm going to give it a little bit of a chance. On the other hand, you should say that if that's your trading plan, you get out. If it drops below 3, goes below the 8 with air, you're out. Then that's exactly how you would want to play it. That's nice. You still be in that one. You still be in that one. That one you'd be out, where it dropped down here, obviously 3 below the 8, which is just about the same time as you actually got this sell there. So I hope that's given you a bit of an idea on a way to find some stocks that are going to move really, really well. So that's the thing. Look for stocks that hold up through a confirmed down, and that's really the best way to do it. Well, from my point of view anyway. So I just will show you something else if you're still with me, if I haven't bored you and gone back too far. So back to home. So looking at viewers, as we did last time, we'll open it up and I'll go to the stock viewer. Trying to do too many things at once. Right, so here we are. Stock viewer. It's come up at the top by VST descending. And I was listening to a seminar that was given by Susan Hayes-Cullerton, the European representative for VectorVest. And she said, if you're ever wondering if a stock's a particularly good stock compared to the rest of the industry that it's in, the way to do it, of course, is if you highlight that stock, Down at the bottom here, you've got the industry that stock is in. So if you move along and you look at the fundamentals for that stock, it will move in a minute, I'm sure. Then you've got down here, you've got your fundamentals, and you can compare the fundamentals. You've got RS 4.8 on this particular stock. Now, auto and truck repairs down here, you've got your RV is average is 0.95, so it's got a lovely RV. The average RS is 0.8, and we've got 0.91, which isn't good, but it is above average. RT on that stock is 1.98, which is lovely, and the average for the industry is 1.1. CI is not very good, but the CI on this one is 0.81. VST is 1.55, and the VST for the industry as a whole, as an average, is 1.01. So that stock is a much stronger stock than average. So it's an above average stock for the auto and truck industry. So if you ever find a stock and you think, well, is it a good stock or is it not? Apart from just its chart, you can actually see how it stacks up against the others. Well, I hope that was some help to you, and I'll leave you with that, and you can do with it just as you wish. But I think the demonstration on the recordings that the profits that have been made have been really, really good. Thank you.